Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Evan again with SoundWarp Studios, and today we're going to be taking a look at a plugin. It's a plugin currently in beta testing by Korneff Audio, and it's called the L1 Limiter. And if you can't tell by the name, or if you by any chance have used any Waves plugins over the years, this plugin is designed to be a direct competitor or replacement to the very popular L1 limiter. All right, so let's hop on over into Reaper and take a look. So this is a song, it's a song that I released last year. It's called Corona Christmas, and this is what the song sounds like.
The pain that we feel inside, the Christmas lights are on tonight. But what about the light inside can't seem to find?
All right, and you get the idea. That's pretty much just a little bit of the pre-chorus going up to the chorus. And we're going to look at a few different applications here of L1 here on the rhythms, and we'll go ahead and solo them and just play it and see what L1 is doing. All right, and all I'm really using L1 for in this case and in most cases is if I just want something to, not exceed a threshold, no matter what. Just brick wall limit, don't let it pass this level to control dynamics so that it doesn't create any problems down the line, especially once it hits my mastering chain. That's really what I like to use it for. So it doesn't make a lot of difference sonically, and that's really kind of the point. So I'm interested to see how L1 will compare. So let's go ahead. I'm going to turn that off. So we're going to load up the L1 limiter, and right out of the gate, this looks somewhat familiar, right? So let's go ahead. I believe if we shift click, yep. Adjust that release. I almost always use this. I never touch the release. Sometimes I'll do auto release if it distorts too much, but we'll just try and match the settings here and not really get too fancy. There's a couple other options here, but really, we're just going to pretend like it's L1, try and touch as little controls as possible and see if it does the job. So assuming these will be essentially the same in terms of level, we'll put on the link controls to 17.7 and let's see. All right, so that seems to be doing pretty much what L1 is doing. We can kind of flip back and forth between the two and see if there's really any difference. Let's go to L1. Now, one thing I'm noticing, I was trying to see if that was just a visual glitch. It is still in beta. As you can see, it's kind of doing a weird thing here. It's disabled. That's why. So one of the things I was looking for there is it doesn't appear to be totally brick wall. There's still some peaks getting over, and even looking down in Reaper, you can see a little bit of movement on the meter. Let's go back to L1. And as you can see, Waves, it's completely pinning it there. So sound-wise, really not a lot of difference, but I don't love that it's not completely, it's not a complete brick wall limiter. But I would say that pretty much does the job. All right, so now let's jump on over to bass, and this is one of the most common reasons I would reach for L1. So a typical bass processing chain for me is to take the DI, send it to two different tracks, and split it into a low and a high. And And that allows me to control the tone and the dynamics individually for just the sub information and then also the high end information. This is a pretty common trick, but the low end is really where it's most important. You'll see I limit the high end as well, but the low is where the magic happens. So let's go ahead. We will solo the low end here and see what L1's doing. So as you can see here on the metering in the plugin and Reaper and just hearing it, I mean, it's just pinning the low end. So I don't want my low end to move. If I want the low end of my bass to change in level, I can automate the level in the plugin, automating the volume on the track itself, but I just don't want the low end to get out of control. Again, thinking ahead to mastering, looking at the mastering compressor and the limiter. I don't want it to be clipping or pumping anything down the chain. So let's go ahead and see how L1 handles this application. We'll bypass this and we'll load up L1. And again, we're gonna try and match the settings here. All right, we've got the settings matched here. And let's go ahead and play it. So once again, there's a little bit of fluctuation on the output, but also in this example, L1 is more notably distorting. It's not super bad. You may not be able to hear it in a mix, but I mean, just listen here again. If we go from L1 back to L1. Yeah, that's actually pretty noticeable. So in this application, I would definitely prefer L1. I'm not sure. Again, this plugin is still in beta. But let's see actually if we can fix it. What if we change the release to auto? See if that helps. So the auto release there fixes the distortion problem, but I can tell it's just slowing the release down a lot. So it doesn't sound quite as aggressive. So yeah, for bass, still am liking the L1 better. All right, so the last application we're gonna be looking at, L1 versus L1, is on vocals. So very often I throw L1 on the vocal bus, really just to, again, not really change the character, but especially during parts where there's a lot of doubles or other vocal layers, just ensuring that the vocal level overall doesn't change too much, and just, again, controlling the dynamics. That's what I'm using L1 for. So that's what I would also use L1 for. So we got them both pulled up here. We'll go ahead and match the settings. All right, so now we got the settings matched. Let's go ahead and solo the vocals, and we'll once again flip back and forth, starting with L1.
The pain that we feel inside, the Christmas lights are on tonight. But what about the light inside? Can't seem to find a reason to carry on. Corona Christmas. No, we were never meant to be alone. 6 feet apart, we're in the dark. We need a restart.
So on vocals, that actually does sound pretty similar. I'm not noticing really any major differences. And again, I didn't look at the meter. Let's look and see. This looks like it's a bug, but see if it's really brick walling it still on the vocals.
The pain that we feel inside, the Christmas lights are on tonight. But
it's still allowing a little bit of overage, and I'm being really hypercritical here. The true difference is probably not even noticeable by ear, but just something to be noticed. Look, when you see L1 on cleans, you'll notice it's just completely pinning it right at the threshold.
The pain that we feel inside, the Christmas lights are on tonight.
So yeah, very subtle difference. In this application, I don't hear any major difference in distortion, so definitely could be perfectly usable on vocals. All right, so that's my comparison of the L1 and L1 limiter. I'd say in conclusion, L1 is pretty close to replacing L1, but in its current state in beta, it's not quite there yet to fully replace L1. I know some people have a problem with Wave's subscription model or the Wave's update plan and how you have to pay for a plugin just for software updates in the future. But me personally, I've been on my Windows 10 machine for a long time and don't have any noticeable issues. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one.